No sad about it, no sad about it.
I'm moving too fast, I can't stop. Wiping it down when the paint hot. Left hand on the wheel. I'm closing the top when the raindrop. I'm keeping the game in the headlock. When throwed and blinded my dreadlock. In the end zone with the mad dot. One phone call, get it dead stop. I feel like I own the season. Say one thing, just give me a reason. Knowing you're mad, I'm undefeated. Top dog, making it even.
Oh, I had to get back up.
Back up.
I had to get back up.
I can't take no off. You better call back up. I'm running it down to finish. I don't play, get down to get it. Talk about that, come slide, I'm with it. Better see me now, on God, I'm litty. I know that you're trying to go be.
Hello, everybody. It's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports. Coming up next, we've got what should be a good one between the Denver Broncos and the Kansas City Chiefs. At Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, as we welcome in our men in the booth, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Okay, Coach. Well, first opened way back in 1972. There's a look at Arrowhead Stadium, part of the Truman Sports Complex here in Kansas City. A few short moments ago, these two teams made their way out of the Arrowhead Stadium tunnels, and the noise level in this place was just about off the charts. They're set for football as the Chiefs get set to do battle with the Denver Broncos. Hello again, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. And, Charles, we look at this Chiefs ball club. They've gone a full half season since their last loss, winners of 8 in a row.
And you don't get on win streaks like this without your defense playing a big role. They've created quite an identity, and I know they want and expect this streak to get to 9.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Broncos, they come into this one fresh off a victory that finally snapped a 6-game losing streak.
And there's nothing like that win that makes everyone happier in the locker room, better on the practice field, and they usually play a whole lot better that next game out as well.
And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. So here are the Broncos now for their opening drive. They'll be led out by a man undrafted out of Boise State, the nephew of a Super Bowl MVP. It's Brett Rippon.
And it felt like in watching the game tape, he got everyone involved last week.
He was a manager.
He really was. That's a great way to put it because they ran the ball some, they threw it accurately. 1 touchdown pass, so he didn't, break the bank doing that, but he didn't throw any interceptions. That's the bottom line. That's why a defense loves it.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. A bad start there. A big loss on their first play from scrimmage. It's second down.
But we knew coming in it was going to be a long afternoon if they weren't able to hold up against this pass rush, huh?
What we didn't know was that protection was going to spring a leak on the first play from scrimmage.
Got after him right out of the gate.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Now this one over the middle into the hands of his tight end complete. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down. The pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
And I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop. But that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything. So it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Rippon on 3rd and long. And that is incomplete. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
It is one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. Watch out for Hill on the return. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And it's Chiefs football. 1st and 10. So here are the Chiefs now as they get set for their opening drive. As we get a peek at the former Red Raider and 10th pick in the 2017 draft, Patrick Mahomes.
Just 3 weeks of games left in the NFL regular season. What's it going to take for him to win the MVP? What's it going to take?
Whatever it is, if he wants to strengthen that candidacy, no time like the present.
And let me tell you what I think. Not only does he have to play the clean game, no picks, things of that nature, he has to have at least one significant play that we'll talk about all next week. That'll really give him a higher profile.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL, so when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
And that throw intercepted. It's Chris Harris, the Pro Bowl corner. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line.
Well, if you go by the numbers, you'll find as the temperature goes down, so does the passing efficiency. And now that we're in December, even the routine throws are going to be harder for the quarterbacks. And this one, it winds up getting picked off.
Off play action, it's Rippon. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
After the sack on first down, Rippon, open man, that's Noah Fant, the tight end. A nice pickup there, 19 yards, and they're set up better for third. Now on third down, an extra DB out there for the Chiefs. Now the young man was a Pro Bowler as an undrafted rookie. It's Philip Lindsay. Boy, no chance as he was met and dropped behind the line there.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively, because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
So on fourth down, on comes Brandon McManus and the field goal unit for the Broncos. Right hash mark, a 42-yard attempt. The kick by McManus is good. And the Broncos, the first to grace the scoreboard. It's 3-zip. So a good kick there. They put the bow tie on it with 3 points.
And let's face it, everybody wants a touchdown. We know that. But in the NFL, defenses are awfully good. You're not going to score each and every time. Be able to knock the ball through the post and take the three.
By the way, I said bow tie. I meant just bow. Not the tie, but yeah.
Either way.
You got it.
I just went right past it.
After splitting the uprights, McManus to kick it away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So the Chiefs offense heads out. There's a look at the playoff picture in the AFC. And right now, a lot to like on that screen. They've wrapped up the division, now currently sitting in the coveted number 2 spot. Of course, you'd love number 1, but if you can't have one, number 2 is pretty good.
I agree with you totally, and here's the other part, too. The really good teams, the really confident teams, they're not as worried about being number 1. 2 is fine because they feel like they can go on the road and win against number 1 if they absolutely have to. The big thing, though, is clinching one of those early byes and able to sit and get a little rest as the playoffs begin.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now here's Mahomes. And that throw intercepted. It's Chris Harris, the Pro Bowl corner. And they'll set up shop right near midfield at the 49-yard line. First quarter, and now he already has 2 interceptions.
Yeah, he's got to guard against being tentative from this point forward, though. He's got to still make the right reads, make the proper throws. I've seen guys in this league throw 4 interceptions in a game and win. He's got to...
And all the way home for a Broncos score.
Next up, bro.
Philip Lindsay with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Broncos push further out in front. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one, because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
Well, I'm not sure if they drew that play up to score, but it scored indeed. 1 play on the ground and into the end zone for 6. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
And as this offense makes their way back out, it's AFC playoff race time as we give you a look. And it's right about this time of year you start to say this is when the cream rises to the top. Week 15, 3 weeks left to go, but still plenty to be determined.
And I think for most teams, the obvious is to try and be the number 1 or number 2 seed. But when you look at it across the league and throughout the history of trying to get to the Super Bowl, the teams you really fear are the ones that get hot and sometimes sneak in at a 5 or a 6 seed, because we've seen those teams actually get to the Super Bowl and occasionally win it.
Yeah, you think of the Giants a couple of times. Steelers have done it. You're right. It has happened and will happen more in the future, I'm sure. Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. 2 yards, good enough for a first. That's something we saw over and over again in Barkley's rookie season. He had 91 catches last year, most ever by a rookie running back. Part of a fantastic rookie campaign that saw him go over 2,000 total yards. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. An 11-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Chiefs first down. Throwing on first down is Mahomes. This one complete to Mecole Hardman. Nice play for Kansas City, picking up the first 18 yards that time. Mahomes now to throw. Completes it to Hardman. That'll be marked as a 27-yard pickup. A nice job there, Charles. They picked up the blitz, were able to complete the pass.
That had the total feel of a quarterback in control. Red blitz, got him into the right protection scheme, so he doesn't get hit back there. He's got a chance to step up with supreme confidence and deliver it downfield for a nice completion.
They'll try and run forward with Barkley, and they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 9. 10-0 the score after 1 on EA Sports. Now from the 9, here's 2nd and goal. Now Mahomes. And that is caught. Touchdown, Kansas City. Demarcus Robinson, his 2nd touchdown on the season, as they are now on the board here in the first half.
Obviously, Brandon, they couldn't get it all back with just one score, but that touchdown chips into the lead, and now it makes the comeback a little bit more manageable.
Harrison Butker is on for the extra point. And they're back within a field goal. It's 10-7 now. So the drive winds up going 75 yards in 7 plays. And it winds up with the Chiefs hitting pay dirt. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Coming up later tonight, Sunday Night Football, a good one in SoCal. The Vikings and the Chargers from Dignity Health Sports Park. Coverage at 8:20 Eastern, 5:20 Pacific on EA Sports. The drive will commence with a run by Lindsey. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. Tackle made there by Frank Clark. So we'll look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. And they tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
To throw it is Rippett. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And it's picked up by the Chiefs. And he has brought this one back. A fumble recovery for a Chiefs touchdown. They give some kudos to the defensive coordinator, I think, here. They bring the blitz, they dial it up, and it turns into 6 points for them.
It's so nice to hear you actually give kudos to the defense. It is so nice you're such an offensive guy like that. I love it. He dialed things up, and boy, a big play resulted for his guys.
Well, you like the credit to the defense there, right, my friend?
Yeah, do I ever?
So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Here comes the field general leading his offense back out there for the next possession. He's playing pretty well. I don't think it's necessarily him changing up something he's doing, but that O-line, they've got to protect him better.
They do. They've got to make sure that they give him more than enough time in order to find targets downfield.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. You know, in our research packet this week, prepping for the game, so many articles from the local beat writer about under pressure. They got him again.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. They're going to go play action here with Rippon. Man open. He's got it complete to Cortland Sutton. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. That one a gain of 20 and a first down. Sutton is part of a good young receiving core for the Broncos. They liked Sutton enough last year. They traded away Demaryius Thomas, if you remember, halfway through the season. And Sutton, he responded. Rookie campaign, had over 700 yards, 42 catches for the man from Brenham, Texas, which is located halfway between Houston and Austin. It'll be a loss of 1, and it'll be 2nd and 11. Now it's Lindsey.
If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss, though. Huh?
Yeah, you went backwards on the yardage. Hey, it kind of works like a sack for the defense there.
Yeah, it's a really big play for them, right? Able to figure it out, sniff it out, and finish it off.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
I'm starting to wonder if this offensive line just simply doesn't like him. I mean, they've given up 6 sacks in this game. He's had nowhere to go, nowhere to run, and obviously nowhere to hide.
And all those sacks in the first half, this is just complete domination. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And that will come the offense as they take over. And now here comes Kansas City. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be...
Well, Mahomes can't get away, and down he goes. Jeremiah Tauchu in there to take him down on what will take us to the 2-minute warning. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Mahomes, and going deep for Hill. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Justin Simmons. And the return will stop right around the 25. Well, that's 3 picks he's now thrown in this game.
And I know this, the holiday season, because here we are in December, right? It is the season of giving. Maybe for his own sake, after the game, he may have to announce that he's donating certain amounts to charity for each interception that he threw.
That pass play wound up for negative yardage, so here's 2nd and 11. Now Rippon. This is the tight end Fant. 23 yards the pickup there.
He's a rookie, and you don't want to get hung up on the word potential. But when you see him make catches like that, you keep thinking to yourself, he's good now. He's got
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The Broncos in the hurry-up trying to get to their positions and get set quickly. To try again after the sack. Ripping, and he's going to have the hook up to Sutton. That one good for 17 as they're set up better now for third down. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. They had the catch on second down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at third down here. Rippin trying to pick it up through the air, and he's going to go down. They sack him back at the 42.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. And that one hits at the 7, but bounds into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. We're under 20 seconds to go in the half. I'm guessing the wise play here is be safe.
That is the wise play, because if you think about trying to fool them here, here's what you're facing. You're facing a loosened up secondary, playing a lot deeper than normal. So even if you run some type of misdirection, you're only going to fool them for a second or so.
It's caught inside the 25. And all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. Tyreek Hill in the final seconds of the first half. And the Chiefs strike quickly here for 6 points. One play, 80 yards. Pretty easy drive to recap.
It certainly is, but not so easy to execute. Starting on your own 20, you want something to kickstart your drive and get it off to a nice start. They went for the whole thing and got it. That's a great way to send a message to the opposing team.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. Time here for likely one play, then off to the locker room, and they're going to have some adjustments to make.
They certainly will, and I think a lot of people are thinking to themselves, all right, take the knee, get out of here, regroup. But how will the head coach and his staff approach halftime? Will it be angry? Will it be clinical? Will they be calm? Will they just let it all out? Who knows? I'm going to be a fly on the wall for this one, though.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked by Kendall Fuller, and he will be brought down as time is now run out on this first half of action. And now, due to apparent time constraints, we fast forward to the beginning of the second half. This will be fielded at the 8. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Set to take over, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. And it was somewhat of a strange first half. He threw 3 interceptions, yet you look at the scoreboard, they've got the lead.
So you know what I think he did at the half? He stood up in front of the team, especially in front of the defense, and said, thank you. Appreciate what you've done. You guys have picked me up in a big way.
That's caught inside the 20. And they're going to have this way down deep in Denver territory. Mahomes finding Hill for a big play. 63 yards. Complete. The tight end, Kelsey. A gain of 6 there on first. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. And that is caught for the touchdown, Kansas City. Mecole Hardman, his 11th touchdown of the year. And thanks to the interception, the Chiefs offense cashes in with 6. Extra point right down the middle. And he's a little bit on the shorter side as a receiver. Maybe sometimes for the defense, tough to find the little guys, right?
Yeah, sometimes they get lost in the traffic, but usually what it means is that rather than just winning with height or even speed, they use their quickness to find a way to get open.
Well, tall, short, wide, skinny, whatever, there it results in a touchdown.
Let's go. Let's go.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
Another run by Lindsey. And he'll get about 3 as he takes this up near the 25.
Oftentimes we praise an offense for their variety of being able to hit people with the run in the pass, but in this game, how about what we're seeing from the safeties? They are all over the field. Doesn't matter if they threw it or if they're trying to run it.
I don't think we've ever awarded an MVU, most valuable unit, but you're right, it might go to them in this game.
I like that, MVU. Well done.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now Rippon on 1st and 10. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete.
Let's face it, if you want to get back into the game, these are the kind of throws you got to hit. He's wide open right there. Got to be able to get it to him, don't you think?
And those are the throws that haven't been available to them every time he's dropped a pass. Yeah, that's a big miss. And he'll muscle his way up to the 43 for a pickup of right around 5. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Here's Rippon. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Now remember, this is the #1 defense in the National Football League. There's a good example of why.
Shows that they set an aggressive tone, not just stopping the run, not just getting after the quarterback, but the ball's in the air. They treat it like they're the receivers, and they went after that one and took it all the way.
Butker on for the PAT. And the lead is now 24. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And Denver getting set to take the field. And fresh off the pick 6, they've got to forget about that quickly.
In this case now, the guy throwing the ball, he's got to be like what we talk about with defensive backs who get beat for a long touchdown. Short-term memory.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. They'll try the draw, Lindsey. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. 4th down now after a loss of 2.
But these guys are going to chop into that deficit. They got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
And now it's the punter Weil on as he sends this one away. And he'll get credit for putting him inside the 20 as the fair catch is made right at about the 19-yard line. The Chiefs offense and Tyreek Hill heading back out onto the field. Seems like the measuring stick for a receiver for a great game is 100 yards. Well, he's well past that now.
And as we analyze how he's getting them, that's what really becomes fun because, let's face it, they keep sending coverage at him, keep trying to put the pressure on, yet he finds ways downfield and finds openings. That's a really crafty receiver.
And going deep for Hill. And that's caught inside the 35. And all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. Tyreek Hill with touchdown number 27. That ties Priest Holmes for the 3rd most in a single year as his guys continue to pour it on. Extra point splits the uprights, and that will extend this big lead. Those are the ones the offensive coordinators dream about. One-play drives from that distance. What an effort. It results in the touchdown.
Let's go, boys. Let's go.
Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Only a couple there as he'll be brought down about the 28.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. Ripping to pass. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Here's Matt Weil now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. We're back now in KC. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. Fair catch called for right around the 11-yard line. That one in the books as a 64-yard punt. And the Chiefs are going to take over with a long field ahead and a 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, here's Mahomes. And going deep for Hill. And that's caught inside the 35. And he takes it all the way down to the 28-yard line. Mahomes going to throw. They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now, still throwing the football.
And I know my background says, why do you need to do this? Just go ahead and run out the clock and get a win. But as many people pointed out to me, this is a video game, man. Go ahead and put the numbers up. Sportsmanship, not an issue.
Exercise those fingers. This is caught by Hill for a Chiefs touchdown. Tyreek Hill with his 28th touchdown, drawing level with Sean Alexander for the 2nd most. It took them an extra look, but they found out it is a touchdown indeed. The official says this one counts. Extra point up and through, and the lead will swell by 1 more. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. This will be fielded at the 6. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line.
Get ready.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own.
And he will be hit from behind and run over. Wow.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
Another try after the first down sack. Rippin got an open man. It's Fumagalli. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. The Broncos on 3rd down. A pretty anemic, a very anemic 1 for 9 thus far. This is 3rd down and nowhere to escape, and he goes down. And you hate to say it with a rookie quarterback. He's done some good things, but overall, looked a little bit overwhelmed back there, hasn't he?
He certainly has. But in his defense, he hasn't had a lot of time to throw the football. You like the way I said that? In his defense.
In his defense. I got it.
You see what I did there?
Yeah, he needs better protection, that's for sure. He'll be hard-pressed to match that one. That a 65-yard punt. And the offense will come back out deep in their own territory. The KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you.
And that's caught inside the 35. And all the way down to the 26. To throw, it's Mahomes. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys and give them another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues. So another score there, and often you talk about the three phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a fourth phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the fourth quarter. This one taken from the 7. And a good return. He's across the 35-yard line, right around the 36. Now this Broncos offensive unit ready to head back out onto the field. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
Throwing again on second down. Ripping. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Frank Clark fighting his way home to get the sack. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Bronco football as we get you reset here. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off by Bashaw Breeland. And his guys are going to take over at their own 48-yard line. They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10. Just shy of midfield at the 48. So after the INT, here's Mahomes. And going deep for Hill. And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown. Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. And we can break that scoring drive down pretty easily. One play, long touchdown pass into the end zone. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. This will be fielded at the 8. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. The Broncos offense now gets ready to head back onto the field. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running.
And the Chiefs are going to get him. I don't care if you're taking it in round 1, you're undrafted, whatever. As a rookie quarterback in this league, you're going to have games where you face adversity like this. And he's taken down. Back at his own 7. The Chiefs now going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down. From the gun, Rippon.
As I was watching the play unfold, my eyes immediately went to the referee because I wanted to see, was he going to put those 2 hands over his head, that universal signal for a safety? But it's at the 1-yard line. You know you're playing with fire when you get sacked that close to the goal line.
Going absolutely nowhere. They'll wind up losing a yard or 2. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And how about this for a setup? The ball will go over on downs at the 1-yard line. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
And the most curious way there to burn some clock. That was wild, and at the end of all that, it winds up a safety.